Just wanted to thank you for taking your time. I know it's a busy week. Some of you are probably still cramming for that last final. So we'll try to be respectful of your time and keep this quick, but we wanted to give you all of the important information you need for Saturday and answer some of the questions that I know you guys have. So speaking of questions, one reason we continued to do this rehearsal on Zoom after COVID was it was so much easier to address everyone's questions and make sure you have a chance to answer them. Sorry, I should have turned my phone off. So Elise Barker is my co-captain here with all things commencement. Hi, Elise. She is going to be keeping an eye on the chat for me. So during this presentation, you're welcome to pop a question in the chat. You can, type it so that everyone can see it, or if you want to just send it privately to Elise, it's Elise Barker. And we will try to address those as we go through the presentation. And if we don't get to it, right away, don't worry. Oh, someone can't hear me. I hope other people can hear me. Anyway, we'll have a question and okay, good, someone can. Tabitha will be the only one with the important knowledge for Saturday. Anyway, at the very end, we will have a time for question and answers. So if there's something that doesn't get answered during the little presentation we have, just know that you'll have time at the end to ask questions. And if there's something we don't know the answer to, or if for some reason we run out of time and don't get to your question, I promise that either Elise or I will follow up with you. We'll send you an email and make sure that your questions get answered. So let me just jump right in and we'll get started here. All right. Okay, and as always, as we go through this, you can hop on over to our website. We have an FAQ section. You may find an answer to your questions right there on the website. So it's isu.edu/commencement. Hopefully, commencement is this Saturday, the 17th. It begins at 11 a.m. And in the winter, we only have one ceremony. So you don't have to worry about which time you are assigned to. We only have one. So we'll see you at 11. A lot of people have asked how long it should be. It should be about an hour and a half, no longer. So nice, short and sweet. So first things first, obviously Holt does not look like this right now with that green grass. I need to get an updated picture. But on Saturday morning, this is showing the north side of Holt Arena, which if you're familiar with Holt, it's the main entrance side where that large parking lot is. Graduates will come down that ramp just underneath that arrow. And I will say it's not too steep, but it could get slick depending on the weather conditions. So if you're uncomfortable going down that ramp, feel free to go in one of the main entrance doors on that north side and just take an immediate right and go as far down as you can. And there's an indoor ramp that will get you down to the turf. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So when you come down the ramp, you'll run right into these check-in tables. That's the first thing you should do. We like graduates to start checking in by 10. You don't have to, not everybody has to be there right at 10, but I encourage you to be there as close to 10 as possible. Definitely no later than 10:30 because, there's lines to check in and you want to find where you're going and we want to be able to start on time. So good rule of thumb is arrive at 10. You'll come down to the check-in table. The reader cards are alphabetized by last name. So you'll just find the correct line for you and you will pick up a reader card. Now, what is a reader card, you may be wondering? So it's basically an index card that has your name on it. It also has a code on it that will get scanned when you cross the stage. You want to hang on to your reader card. It's very important. You don't want to lose it because that is how your name gets read when you cross the stage. If you want to write in some very, very simple pronunciation tips on there, you can, although we have a better way to do that at the end of this session, which we'll talk about in a minute. But don't make it too complicated. Please don't add any additional information. If you have honor standing, that will already be printed on your card. And we don't read any other awards or, just any other information on those cards. So please don't add anything to those cards because it may, confuse our reader when they have kind of a millisecond to look at your card, read your name, say your name. We don't want to confuse them, and we want everyone's name to be, pronounced correctly. So you'll hang on to your card, and when you get to the stage, you'll hand the card to a volunteer that's at the top of the stage, and they'll handle it from there for you. We try to have volunteers posted along the way, making this day as easy as possible for you. We don't want you to be nervous or worried that you'll mess up. We try to kind of hold your hand the whole way through. So after you pick up your reader card at check-in on Saturday morning, you will then line up behind your college banner. This looks like a very old picture to me. If you've been in Holt Arena recently, it does not look like this. One thing to note, if you are a graduate student, master's or doctoral, PhD, you will line up behind the grad school banner, not your college that you're with. To give you a better, I'm a visual person, so for those of you who are also visual, to give you a better idea of where you'll be going, due to the construction that is still ongoing in Holt, we only have half of the floor available to us. We don't have the entire floor. So you can see check-in in the bottom right corner. And if you are a graduate student, you'll stay on that side. You can see there's the grad school lineup area over there. But most of you, undergraduates, bachelor's, associates, certificates, you will need, after you check in and get your reader card, you'll just walk across the floor behind your chairs to the other side of the floor for that undergraduate lineup area. And you'll see banners with the college names on them. There'll be volunteers over there to help you get lined up. There is no particular order that you need to line up in for undergraduate. Graduate's a different story, and we'll tackle that when you get there on Saturday. But if you're an undergrad, you only need to make sure you're in the correct college line. From there, it doesn't need to be alphabetical or by major. You can sit by your friends. One tip I will give you is that if you want to sit next to someone, make sure they are either in front of you or behind you. All of the colleges will be lining up in two lines, and a lot of people think, I want to sit by you, so stand across from me. But those lines will actually split. And so if you want to sit next to someone, make sure that they're either in front of you or behind you. And for our PhD students who have advisors hooding them, your advisor should line up with you as well. And they should know that. But just so you know it as well, this does not apply to master's students, only PhD doctoral students. But your advisor will line up behind you so that they can walk up on the stage with you and assist in your hooding. So you'll check in, you'll get your reader card, you'll find your college banner, maybe run to the bathroom one last time, take some selfies, and then it's time for the procession, which again will help you. The volunteers will lead you the whole way, will cue you in to walk in, you'll walk down the center aisle, go to the correct row of chairs. And when you get to your chair, don't sit down. We want everyone to remain standing. I know it's a lot of standing on the front end, but then you get to sit for a long time. So remain standing through the national anthem, and then the president will come on stage and he'll ask everyone to sit. You probably know that it's expected that you wear regalia at commencement. At ISU, we do black caps and black gowns for everyone. And we get a lot of questions, can I wear my stole from my sorority, or can I wear my veterans cords? The answer is yes. We encourage that. We want you to, display all of that and be proud of all those organizations and groups that you're in. So feel free to wear stoles, cords, tassels, whatever you have, all of the above. If you qualify for honor cords or have questions, if you qualify for honor cords, reach out to the registrar's office. There's no cost for honor cords. You can pick those up. Hopefully most of you have already done that. You just pick them up at the registrar's office. But if for some reason you haven't already, they will be handing those out on Saturday morning at the check-in table. Another reason to arrive early that day. I'm taking a look at the questions. The orange sash, we get a lot of questions about that, so I'm glad you asked. It's part of the undergraduate regalia, but it's not required. It's totally optional. So you can wear the orange stole or not, up to you. Some people wear it, and then the idea is that it's called a stole of gratitude. So the idea is that you give it to someone afterwards that was, meaningful or instrumental part of your college journey, but totally optional. So don't feel like you have to have that. Yes, I like that idea. Actually, underneath your gowns, you can have a small bag or, a crossbody purse or something like that, to keep your belongings in. And this is going to come up in the presentation a little later, but try to keep your personal belongings to a minimum, down on the floor, because we don't have a great place, honestly, to stash them. So whatever you bring, you're going to have to keep up with on your person or in your hands the whole time. So keep that in mind when you're, making your plans. Maybe you can give your coat to a friend or family member that is there in the building watching you. It's fine to bring. I know everyone wants to have their phones down on the floor to take pictures, and we want that too, because we love seeing your posts on social media. So yeah, if you can put it in a pocket or wear a purse underneath your gown, or master's students, you always have it the best because you have those weird long sleeves, which are perfect phone pockets. Phone and chapstick, that's what I always say go in those sleeves. So you can see there which side to wear your tassels on. That's something you can ask any of us on Saturday morning if you can't remember which side to wear your tassel on. And then if you are a graduate student and you have a hood, don't wear your hood because you'll get hooded on stage. And we'll help you with that when you get lined up, but make sure the hood is unbuttoned and you'll carry it over your left arm when you walk in. And yes, you can decorate your caps. That's fun too. We always get fun photos of that. But please just, be mindful and courteous that there are people sitting behind you. They need to see over you. Just in mom speak, use good manners. So let's talk about hoodings for a minute. I know this doesn't apply to all of you, but hopefully someday it will apply to even more of you in the future. Something we do at ISU, which is fairly new within the last 5 years, we actually hood our master's students on the big commencement stage. There's not a lot of schools that do that. And I think it's pretty cool. It's a fun, exciting thing that we get to do. So all master's and doctoral students will be hooded on the stage. If you're master's, you won't have an advisor coming up with you. You will just come up on stage, and the dean of your college and the dean of the graduate school will hood you together. And then, as I mentioned earlier, for our doctoral grads, their advisors will hood them along with the dean of the graduate school. And we're going to talk a little bit more about hooding. So don't worry if you have a lot of questions about how to do that, because that is a nerve-wracking moment because everyone's staring at you. But at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Elise for a couple of notes on our master's graduates.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
You're really quiet to me.
Oh, okay.
But it looks like everyone else can hear you. It's probably just me.
All right, I am going to go ahead and get going. I am working currently on figuring out the lineup, getting the master's students lined up in their seats and then onto the stage in the correct order is always a huge challenge. And I thought I would just go ahead and throw out there this is for master's students only. If you, for some reason, get separated from the rest of your people in your college, and you see that those people are getting on the stage and starting to graduate, just go ahead and don't worry about manners. Here's me going against what Allison just said. But go ahead and get up and get into line with the rest of your graduates. I'm going to be there. So, and I'm going to be keeping an eye on this, trying to make sure everybody gets to where they're supposed to be. But no matter how hard I try, something always goes wrong. So keep your eyes open. And if you know which college you're being hooded with, there's an announcement when those master students are being invited to start on their stage crossing. So you can listen for that. You can see who's doing the hooding on stage. I put the list of who's going and the order that all the hoodings are happening in. It's in alphabetical order. So yeah, that's it. Just you don't have to turn your brain off completely at commencement. So especially if you're a master's student, we need your help to make sure it goes smoothly. So thank you. I think I'm done, Allison.
Yes,
Oh.
but we've got a video coming up.
Yes. Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, but I'll try it. It never
Okay.
works, but let me try it. You tell me if can you hear it? You can't hear it, Elise?
You have to do the optimize
I know.
thing.
Why don't you do it? Because I never
Okay.
do it right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, so I'll have to share my screen.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. Oh, here we go.
You would think I would have Zoom figured out by now.
Oh, I get it.
While she's pulling that up, I realized I jumped right in and didn't even introduce ourselves. My name's Allison Johnson, and Elise did kind of get an introduction, but we plan commencement. We're the ones that have been clogging up your inboxes with emails and instructions, and we're here to help you and answer any questions and make this day exciting and go as smoothly as possible for you.
Okay, jump in and tell me if you can't hear this, Allison.
Okay, will do. We're good.
Greetings, Idaho State University graduate students. I am thrilled to be congratulating you on your upcoming graduation and the completion of your degrees. We are so excited to be joining you at commencement at the end of this semester to celebrate your accomplishments with your family, your friends, and your loved ones. We've put this video together today to try to help you understand a little bit better what's going to happen that day and how you will be hooded. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy what we've presented for you today. I'm going to turn the time over to Dr. Collum, who will show you how this is done.
I'm Dr. Tracy Collum, the Associate Dean for the Graduate School at Idaho State University. And today we're going to talk about hoodings for graduation. So one of the tips for our hoods is to make sure you have it correctly undone. On the back, there is typically a string and a button. Make sure they're undone before you come to graduation. Otherwise, you may get choked at your own hooding, and we don't want that. Additionally, you'll want to make sure your hood is placed on your left arm as such when you walk across the stage to be hooded. So today we're going to show you how to walk onto stage with your hood and how you're going to be hooded with the graduate dean and either your college dean or your academic advisor.
How are you? Doing better?
So the student is going to hand the hood to the graduate dean, Dr. Bradford, and then the dean and the other hooder will place the hood over your head. Please make sure to wait until we place the hood exactly where it should be so that way you get a great picture from the campus photographer for graduation. Once you're done, you'll continue off stage and the next student will come on. With our master's students, we will have them hooded by the graduate dean, Dr. Bradford, and then their college dean. One thing to note with your master's hooding is your cap is more square, so you want to be aware of squatting down if you're a little tall, so that way the deans can hood you correctly. Another thing to note with your tassel is it should be on the left side. You can stand up, Christoph. It should be on the left side, and one way to remember that is once you've left your baccalaureate degree, you have left college, so you have it on your left side. You will exit the stage on the left, and then the next master's student will come forward again with the hood over your left arm. The deans again will wrap that around. Notice with the colors of the hood, the colors are based on discipline. So depending on your discipline, your color will match that. It's a universal color tradition throughout the history of higher education. Some other tips and tricks for your graduation day is to know the difference between your master's gown and your doctoral level gown. Master's students, you're lucky. You get an extra little pocket in your sleeve to hold your snacks or even your cell phone or keys. For your doctoral level gown, you don't have the extra pockets, but you do have the extra stripes to showcase your extra degree. So congratulations. One thing that you do need to know is inside of each of your gowns, there are typically buttons. I'm not sure if you can see them on this video, but take your hood and your gown and check those out. For your hood, you have an extra string that when you zip it within your gown, you can roll your string within these buttons to help pull it off of your neck. If this does not work, I like to carry a safety pin, and I actually take the string and pull it down a little further into the gown and pin it inside the gown to help pull the hood off of your neck. So you could do that as well.
Okay,
Great. Thank you for sharing that for me since I'm inept. Okay, so back to kind of the big picture. This is the order of events on Saturday, just to give you an idea of where things fall in the program. We've talked about the processional, how you'll stay standing for the national anthem. Right after that is when the president will give his welcome and we have the speeches. And I think you'll be pleased. Our speeches go pretty quickly. We'll have 3 speakers. President Satterley will speak. Our student speaker, Jess Shillette, who I think I saw on here, will speak. We're excited to hear you. And then we have a member from our State Board of Education who will very briefly give some congratulatory remarks. But it goes pretty quickly and the speeches are always good. So right after that, we just jump into the exciting part where you get to cross the stage. We do it in 2 different chunks. The graduate students will cross first, and then the undergraduate students will cross. After that, the president will give a few more closing remarks that are fun. It's not a long, boring speech. Undergrads, you'll get to move your tassels. We will have some students sing our university's alma mater, and then it's a big party. It's a big celebration down on the turf with streamers and fun music. But one of the things you may be nervous about is crossing the stage because, that's the moment when everyone's staring at you and you don't want to trip or mess up. So let's talk about that for just a little bit. Like I said, we try to make it as easy as possible on you. We'll tell you when it's time for your row to stand up and come out and line up to go up to the stage. You'll take a ramp to the stage. And at the top of the ramp, that's where you'll hand your reader card to the volunteer. She will tell you when to walk across. There'll be a ramp down. You can handle it, I promise. So I mentioned that there's 2 different chunks. And sometimes I worry when we get done with our graduate students, I worry if our undergraduate students think that we've forgotten them. So don't think that we've forgotten you. So what will happen is the president and the provost will be at the podium together, and it's a bunch of academic words big words that we'll be hearing. But what you want to listen for is our provost to say, will the candidates from the graduate school please rise? And we'll tell you, we'll be there to help you. But that's when our grad students will stand up and they'll line up to cross the stage. They'll go through the stage, do their hoodings, and then they'll sit down and it'll look like we're done, but we're not, I promise. The provost and the president will come back to the podium and say very similar things. And you'll hear, will the candidates for all of the bachelor's and associate's degrees please rise? And then undergrads, it's your turn at that point. I think we've covered this. So after you cross the stage and you get your diploma cover, when you come down the ramp, there will be a photo screen set up. We have professional photographers at the ceremony. They will photograph you as you come off the stage. And then you'll head right back into your seats, which I think I have in a diagram coming up. But just remember or take note that you may not end back up in your same seat. If all goes well, I think it's likely that you will, but just know there's a chance that you won't. So don't leave any of your belongings at your chair. Again, that's why I was saying try to keep those minimal. Don't leave your keys or your water bottle at your chair because you may not get back to them easily. So here you can see a picture of the ramp going off the stage and the green screen, the little photo booth just down there. So again, for you visual learners like me, here's kind of a bird's eye view of what it will look like. You can see the faculty, I don't think we've told you, will be seated in the first couple of rows. So they'll be seated in front of you and they get a good view of you on the stage. Grad students will be seated next and then undergraduate in the back. And you can see that you'll exit to your left, you'll come up, cross the stage, go around and back to your seats. Now, if you look at the stage, you'll see 2 stars on there. The first star, the one that's on the left side, that's where hoodings take place. So if you're a graduate student, you don't have very far to walk. You just take a few steps and you'll stop and get hooded. But then you continue on to the next star, which is where the president is handing out diploma covers, which looks like this. So this is another thing we kept from COVID era. We got rid of the awkward handshake, which was kind of nice because I feel like that's something people get nervous about too, is which hand do I shake with and which hand do I take the diploma with and what do I do? You don't have to worry about that. We're not shaking hands. President Satterley will be standing there behind a table. He'll just hand you the diploma cover as your name is read. You'll take it from him, smile, look nice because someone's probably taking your picture. And then you'll head off down the stage, down the ramp. So after you cross the stage, undergraduates, you get to move your tassels. This is another thing I sometimes worry about, that undergrads think, oh, am I supposed to move my tassel when I cross the stage or when I come off, or what do I do? You don't have to worry about it. Don't do anything with it until after everyone has crossed the stage. You're back at your seat. President Satterley will ask you to stand up. You'll all move it together as a group. And that's a fun moment. I like that one. And like I said, at the end, we've got a fun streamer celebration with fun music, and your family and friends can come down on the turf and take photos and celebrate with you. But it's not a free-for-all right away. I wanted to point out a couple of things. When the ceremony ends, and we do have the streamers and the fun music, please stay standing in your spots. Don't leave your chairs quite yet. For just a couple of minutes, we want you to stay there while our platform party, our people on the stage, come down and exit down the center aisle. And then our faculty will do the same thing. The faculty will exit down the center aisle. But as soon as the faculty exit, then you're free to move around and give hugs and take photos. You don't have to worry about marching out in order. Something to note is that if you do have friends or family members who can't attend, we are streaming this live on ISU's YouTube channel, which you can see right there. And also afterwards, there'll be a recording available, for all eternity, most likely. I mentioned we have a professional photography team coming for the day. They will take photos. They'll do photos of the hooding. They'll do photos of you receiving your diploma. They'll do the posed photo in front of the green screen. And then shortly after graduation, usually within a week, maybe a little longer, but this group is pretty quick. They will send you an email to the email address that we have on file with ways that you can purchase those photos. So remind your guests that are coming with you that they cannot come down to the turf during the ceremony to take photos. They shouldn't, crowd the railing in front of the other audience members to take photos. My phone is blowing up. Somebody did not get the message about attending rehearsal today. But after the ceremony ends, they're welcome to come down to the turf. So after the faculty members have recessed out the back and we're having that fun little celebration, they're all welcome to come down on the turf and take all the photos they want. So a few notes for them, for your guests. Holt Arena does have some special needs seating, whether your guests are in a wheelchair or they can't climb a lot of stairs. If you haven't made arrangements ahead of time, when they arrive, just tell them to check in with an usher at the main entrance. Each main tunnel will have an usher there who can assist anyone who needs special needs. So if you've already made arrangements with Holt Arena, the ushers have their names, they know right what section and what seats to take them to. And if you haven't made arrangements, don't stress. They'll take care of your guests on Saturday when they show up. If you have anybody who needs captions or ASL interpreting, we do provide that as well. You can view live captions of the ceremony at our commencement website. And we will have live ASL interpreters at the ceremony. You can ask an usher again which section that is, and they can sit, section D, but they can ask the ushers when they arrive where to sit if they need interpreters. And then if any of you, we want to take care of our graduates, obviously. If any of you, hopefully this doesn't happen to anyone, but if you slip and fall and end up on crutches before Saturday, or you know you're going to need a little extra help, please reach out to us as soon as possible at our email, which is commencement@isu.edu, and Elise or I will take care of you. So a few just final things. Sorry, I was glancing at the chat. I haven't been very good about paying attention to that. I promise we'll have a chance for your questions at the end, and we're almost there. Encourage your guests to arrive early. They can come as early as 10 o'clock as well, so they can just come with you. When you need to arrive, the doors will be open at 10. Everyone will enter on the north side. Like I mentioned, Holt Arena is still under construction, and so the south side is unusable. Which is nice because the north side is really the main side and it's where the biggest parking lot is. So most people tend to come in on that side anyway. Your guests do not need tickets. There's no limit on how many can come. No signing up. It's just first come, first serve. So again, I encourage them to come early, and it's general seating, and there's no charge for parking. That would be a great way to go out to get a parking ticket, but parking is free for everybody. Graduates, you will have printed programs placed on your chairs, and your guests will get them when they arrive in the tunnels. The ushers will hand those out, but yours will be waiting for you on your chair. So don't, if you really want a program, don't worry about that. You'll get one. Again, the ceremony should be about an hour and a half. We want to see you as close to 10 as possible. And one last reminder, don't forget about attending March Through the Arch tomorrow at 1. I think the snow is finally stopping for a little bit. It might be a little chilly, but join us for that fun tradition. Hopefully many of you walked through the arch as freshmen, and now you can close the tradition and walk out of the arch. So after we answer your questions, our institutional reader for the ceremony, so the person who will be announcing your names as you cross the stage, she's going to hop on Zoom, and she's fantastic at what she does, but I think what makes her the best is that she's willing to do this and spend as much time as it takes with you here on Zoom, and you get to actually speak with her and tell her how to pronounce your name. So if you have concerns about that, stick around at the end and you can speak with Barbara. Most of all, we want you to enjoy the day. We want it to be special and fun and memorable. So congratulations to all of you, and we'll do everything we can to make it easy for you and fun. So now let's jump to the chat and we can answer some questions that you have. I know Elise has been answering a lot of them, and someone mentioned layering up. It is going to be chilly in Holt Arena. There is heat in the building, but a building that size, you can imagine, is quite hard to heat. And honestly, the coldest part is down on the floor where you graduates will be. So if you're prone to getting cold, I would definitely wear layers, maybe bundle up a little bit. The gowns, I feel like I always get hot when I wear a graduation gown, so maybe they'll add some insulation there for you. But yes, you can expect cold temperatures, unfortunately. Let's see, masks. Thank you for bringing that up. No, masks are not required. You're certainly welcome to wear one. There's no problem with wearing a mask. And with everything that's going around right now, I'm starting to think I want my kids in masks because I'm tired of them being sick every 4 days or whatever it is. But no, for this ceremony, we're not requiring masks. So you can watch the recording. If you missed any of the rehearsal today, we'll be emailing all of you a link to this recording. Really, the first part I think we talked about. Graduates should arrive at 10, enter on the north side, and come down to the turf. And we'll take it from there. We'll take care of you from there. You just need to check in and pick up your reader card. Any other questions, Elise, that you saw come in while I was?
Yeah, one of the ones that I got was whether we had I know we had a map last year of Holt Arena.
Oh yeah.
Somebody was asking for a map, and I haven't been able to find it in all of my stuff. not the
We can send
inside,
you
but
one.
the outside. Yeah, so
Like parking lots and streets.
Yes.
Or like a Google map. Yeah, we can get you one.
great.
So I just saw one that comes up a lot, tassels. So the orange and black tassel, really that's more of a commemorative tassel, kind of a decoration. The solid color tassel is technically the one you should wear, and the colors are based on your major. And some of you have 2 majors, and so you have 2 different colored tassels. It's up to you. It's a personal choice. My recommendation is just pick one, pick, which major you like best or which one you have more friends in. I don't know, but just pick one to wear. I would wear the solid color tassel, not the orange and black one. But if you think the orange and black one looks better, for my undergrad, I was a music major and the tassel color was pink and it does not look good with orange. And I liked the orange and black better. If you want to wear orange and black, I say do it. No one will care. Arrive at 10 a.m. on Saturday. So hi, Jess. We're looking forward to having you speak on Saturday. For the national anthem, anyone singing, we have a sound check scheduled with them on Friday, and they will get all their instructions there. And if she has questions, she can reach out to me. You're all answering each other's questions. I like it. We're a nice little community here. I feel like this is a very well-informed group. I think we're getting as many questions as we usually do. Again, I really appreciate your time today. I know what a crazy week it is. Crazy for us too. Oh yeah, thank you. I read that one and then I didn't answer it. So yeah, the order again is graduate students and then undergraduate. And undergraduate is in no particular order. It's whatever order you line up in, which is up to you, is the order that you'll cross the stage in. Photos will be taken, professional photos will be taken during the ceremony as you cross the stage, and then as you come off the stage, they'll do a posed photo. So yes, after you check in, which is the first thing you should do when you arrive, you check in, get your reader card, then find your college banner. So if you don't know what college you're in, now's a good time to find out. If you're College of Technology or College of Arts and Letters or Business. So after you check in, you'll look for the banner that corresponds to your college and go line up behind it. And for undergraduate, there's no order. Just line up. If you want to sit by your friends, sit by your friends. So if you want to, I mentioned about the reader cards, you could write in some very simple and clear name pronunciation. Name changes is one I did not mention. So I'm glad that Mandy, you mentioned that. If your name says, for instance, I hope you don't mind me using this example, but if your card says Amanda and you want to be called Mandy, you can just cross out Amanda and write Mandy. Same thing if you recently got married or divorced or whatever the case may be, and your last name on your card is not the one you want read, just cross out that name and legibly and clearly write the name that you want read. And we'll have some pins around. All the volunteers should have a pin on them. If you need to buy any other regalia, any tassels or anything, you can always stop by the bookstore. They should still have them all on hand. Oh, Elise answered that for me, but
I don't know about the one asking about verifying the correct color for their hood. So that was one that I was kind of just looking at, like, I don't know.
So that one, I guess, if you could ask if you have a friend in the same program, see what color theirs is. If you still are unsure, you can email our email, commencement@isu.edu, and we'll find out for you.
I do have a list somewhere with all of it, but I can't do it off the top of my head.
So Mandy asked a follow-up question. I think, unfortunately, I do think you're right. Because there's the code on the card that gets scanned, and that's what puts your name on the screen. That will probably still have the original name. So it will say Amanda. I'm sorry, I don't know a way around that. I mean, that is something that I will definitely check on for future ceremonies, but that's good thinking. Degree specific tassels, I think that applies to everyone, not just graduates. So undergraduate as well. your tassel is, the color is dependent on your major. Bathrooms, yes, the bathrooms in Holt Arena should be wheelchair accessible. There is one down on the turf near the check-in table. Last year, it was not available because of construction. I don't know 100% if it's going to be available to us this year. I think it is, but I'm not sure that that one's wheelchair accessible. All of the main bathrooms on the main level where you enter at Holt, they are all accessible. So I would definitely, use those up there and not count on the one on the turf. It's with this construction, I feel like it changes every day and we never know what it's going to look like when we walk up there. Any other questions? These were great. I appreciate you guys thinking of these things and helping each other out. And is Barbara on here? I haven't really paid attention to see if she popped in. Great. Thanks, Elise. Well, if there are no other questions, and if you think of one, as soon as you log off, that's what I would do. I would log off and think of a question. If you do think of one, again, feel free to email us at commencement@isu.edu. And we will see you all on Saturday morning. And I'll go ahead and turn the time over to Barbara. And I just, again, wanted to say how wonderful it is that she does this. And we appreciate that, Barbara. Thank you.